Hello students, I am Dr. Renu Kohli at Government Bangalore College, Pali. Today in ecology, we will discuss ecological pyramids. In this chapter, we will study what are ecological pyramids, types of pyramids, importance and limitations of ecological pyramids. What is ecological pyramid? An ecological pyramid is a graphical depiction of the relationship between the different living organisms at different trophic level. Trophic level in an ecosystem and the energy flow from one level to the next can be graphically depicted. Base of the pictorial representation is always a producer and then there are level of consumers. This gives the shape of a pyramid. As producers are always more than the final level of consumers, this graphical representation is therefore called ecological pyramids. There are different types of ecological pyramids. First is pyramids of numbers. Pyramid of number it shows relative number of organisms at each stage of food chain. The number pyramid shows the number of organisms at each trophic level and it does not take into consideration size of the organism. Emphasis is only on number, whether the organisms are big or small. In number pyramids, each successive level contains fewer organisms than the level below it. Let us consider the example of grassland ecosystem. The producers, which are grasses, are the maximum in number and are followed by the primary consumers like herbivorous. That is, example is rabbit. And the secondary consumers are snake, lizards, which are even lesser in number. And the final consumers, the hawk and the other birds of prey like eagle, are least in number. Now, next is pyramid of biomass. Biomass is total dry mass of animal or plant species in a food chain. A pyramid of biomass shows the biomass at each trophic level rather than the population. In a food chain, from a healthy ecosystem, the biomass at each trophic level decreases drastically. A pyramid of biomass is more accurate representation of the flow of energy through a food chain than a pyramid of number. For example, plant or grasses are producers, which are eaten by deer, and they are in turn eaten by lion. An enormous mass of grass is required to support a smaller biomass of deer and even smaller mass of lion. The grass has more biomass than all the deers. The deer has more biomass than very few lion, and so on. Now, next is pyramid of energy. A pyramid of energy is graphical representation of the amount of energy at each trophic level of food chain. Pyramid of energy will never appear inverted as some of the energy stored in one source is always lost upon transfer. For most ecosystems, the main source of energy is sun. Producers trap solar energy and store it as sugar, starch, fat and protein. When primary consumers eat producers, the energy also moves up the trophic level. During the transfer, however, the second law of thermodynamics is applied and about 90% of energy is to the environment as released in the environment as unusable heat. If producers have 10,000 unit of energy, the primary consumers receive only 1,000 unit and secondary consumers get only 100 units. Thus, as we move up the trophic level, amount of energy at each level declines. Thus, we have pyramid of energy. You can see this in the figure, in this figure. Now, what are inverted pyramids? Inverted pyramids are those in which base is narrow and apex is broad. The pyramid of number is inverted in tree ecosystem. In this, the first level contains least number of trees. The insects feeding on primary producers occupy second trophic level. The number is higher than the first trophic level. The maximum number of individuals are present at the top trophic level. Pyramid in aquatic ecosystem, including marine and pond ecosystem, the producers are tiny phytoplanktons that grow and reproduce rapidly. In this condition, the pyramid of biomass has a small base with the producer biomass at the base providing support to the consumer biomass of large weight. Hence, it assumes an inverted shape. Importance of ecological pyramids. An ecological pyramid is highly significant in an ecosystem as it shows feeding of different organisms in different ecosystem. An ecological pyramid also shows how efficiently energy is transferred from one level to another, and it also gives overall picture of transfer of energy from one trophic level to the next. What are the limitations of ecological pyramids? The ecological pyramid does not take into consideration food web. The saprophytes are not considered in any of the pyramids, and ecological pyramid do not consider the possibility of existence of same species at different level. Thank you. Thank you.